Inside every surgical practice across the country, an invisible, outdated workflow is quietly siphoning off critical bottom-line revenue. Practice owners often assume their billing staff are failing to keep up, but surgical coding has evolved into one of the most complex disciplines in healthcare. This chart from MDaudit's 2025 benchmark report tracks the escalation. The average dollar amount of a denied outpatient claim rose 14% in a single year, reaching $5,390. Nationally, nearly 1 in 8 claims submitted is rejected immediately before a single dollar is collected. For a standard surgical practice generating $3 million annually, that translates to roughly $354,000 lost to rework and appeals every year. The primary driver of this loss is outpatient coding-related denials, which spiked 26% in 2025 alone. According to revenue cycle data, the 3 root causes for these rejections are diagnosis coding errors, modifier misuse, and missing documentation. Losing 3 to 8% of net collectible revenue to denials represents a structural failure that transcends the efforts of any individual staff member. Surgical coding sits at the extreme far end of the healthcare complexity spectrum. It is a specialty unto itself. Looking at this geometric breakdown of a single surgical claim, we see it as a compounding math problem. A primary CPT procedure code branches out to required secondary nodes, ICD-10 diagnosis codes, modifiers, and place of service rules. Each node has strict dependencies. Coders must navigate laterality, surgical approach, such as laparoscopic versus open, and NCCI bundling rules that rigidly dictate what can be billed together. Then comes the annual code change scramble. The AMA's 2025 CPT set introduced 270 new codes and 112 deletions across specialties. Omit a specific laterality modifier on bilateral orthopedic procedures, and the practice suffers a sustained, invisible underpayment. Misapply modifier 51 to an add-on code in spine surgery, and the payer triggers an automatic, inappropriate payment reduction. Then there is the modifier lottery. Generalist billers often guess between a basic modifier 59 and more specific options like XE or XP. Guessing wrong guarantees an immediate rejection. These repeated denial patterns carry severe compliance risks. A high error rate on modifier usage triggers recovery audit contractor reviews and direct scrutiny from the Office of Inspector General. Submitting an outdated or poorly documented code triggers immediate payment delays and creates a direct path for federal auditors to enter the practice. Faced with rising denials, the traditional response from practice managers is to hire more in-house billing staff. The fatal flaw in this strategy is retention. Medical Group Management Association data shows that billing and coding roles consistently carry high turnover rates in medical practices. Every time a coder leaves, the operational damage extends beyond an empty desk. The institutional knowledge of surgeon documentation habits and specific payer mixes vanishes with them. Replacing that frontline staff member carries a massive hidden expense, costing $25,000 to $30,000 in recruitment, onboarding, and ramp-up time alone. A certified surgical coder's $65,000 base salary is just the beginning. The cost expands outward to include FICA, health insurance, paid time off, and overhead. The fully loaded math reveals one in-house specialist costs $55,000 to $75,000 per year. Even well-meaning in-house teams fail when structural tools are ignored. Outdated documentation templates force coders to default to old internal rules, dropping documentation integrity scores and driving up denials. Relying on local hiring practices in an expensive, high-risk cycle of continuous retraining that cannot keep pace with CPT complexity. Top-performing practices are abandoning the traditional staffing model to manage coding through a specialized workflow designed for total compliance. Staffingly operates on this new model, outsourcing to AAPC and AHIMA-credentialed specialists who work natively inside the practice's own EMR. The model assigns a dedicated, consistent team member specifically to one practice, avoiding the variability of a call center or shared resource pool. This network map illustrates the AI augmentation layer. Incoming claims are automatically sorted by smart routing to the right specialist. Automated background audits scan for anomalies, correcting errors before they become denial patterns. Every workstation operates under an enterprise-grade compliance infrastructure, including SOC 2 Type 2, HITRUST, and ISO 27001 certifications. A dedicated supervisor audits a daily random sample from the EMR, keeping the final error rate strictly below 1%. Combining specialized human expertise with an AI-augmented EMR workflow neutralizes complexity and eliminates audit risk before a claim ever leaves the building. The final argument for this model rests on comparative economics, weighing the $75,000 fully loaded in-house cost against a scalable outsourced solution. Looking at this split-screen scale, the heavy burden of an in-house coder sits left. Staffingly provides a dedicated seat right, totaling roughly $20,748 annually. This shatters the old cost, netting up to $54,000 in savings per position. Transition downtime is minimal. EMR access, team training, and protocol setup are fully operational within a 14-day go-live window. Executive visibility is maintained through weekly KPI dashboards, giving financial officers complete control over throughput, accuracy, turnaround, and return on investment. The commercial structure is built for low-risk flexibility. After the initial pilot, engagements are month-to-month, allowing practices to scale up, scale down, or cancel on 30 days' notice. Staffly is a 2026 MGMA corporate member, and this specific model has been validated by over 800 practices nationally. The practices winning the revenue cycle war have stopped trying to hire their way out of a math problem. Instead, they have plugged into a special